Bonjour French learners, I am teacher Paul and I teach French. Today we are going to explore the essential vocabulary you need when meeting someone in French. From greeting to asking how someone is doing and even making a great first impression, this video will equip you with the phrases you need to communicate confidently in any situation. Let's get started. Formal versus informal. Before we dive into the different expressions, it's important to understand when to use formal versus informal language in French. Formal is used in professional settings with people you don't know well or when you're showing respect, like speaking to a boss, a teacher, or someone older than you. On the other hand, informal is for friends, family, and casual situations. It's more relaxed and conversational, perfect for chatting with people you know well. During this video, I'll show you which expressions are formal and which are informal, so you'll know exactly when and how to use them. How to say hello in French. Let's start with the basics. How to say hello in French. Whether you're greeting a friend, meeting someone for the first time, or just picking up the phone, these are the expressions you'll need. Bonjour is the go-to greeting in French. It literally means good day and is suitable for almost any situation, whether formal or informal. Use it from morning until late afternoon. For a more casual greeting, you can use salut. This is like saying hi and is perfect for friends and family. Remember, it's informal, so avoid using it in professional settings. Or you can even say hey, just like in English. If you are greeting someone very close to you, like a good friend or a family member, you can say coucou. It's a very cute and friendly way to say hey there. In the evening, bonsoir is what you'll want to use. It means good evening and is neutral like bonjour. Use it from late afternoon into the night. If you are already greeting someone earlier in the day and see them again, you can say rebonjour. This means hello again and is a neutral way to acknowledge seeing someone twice. When answering the phone, the French always say allô. This is the equivalent of hello on the phone. These greetings are the foundation of any conversation, so mastering them will help you to start off on the right foot in any interaction. Now that we've covered how to say hello, let's move on to saying goodbye in French. How to say goodbye in French. The most common way to say goodbye is au revoir. It's a neutral, all-purpose expression that works in both formal and informal settings. It literally means until we see each other again. For something more casual, you can use salut, just like it can be used to say hi. It can also mean bye. This is great for friends and people you know well. If you are planning to see someone later, you can use à plus or à plus tard. Both means see you later and can be used in neutral situations. À tout à l'heure is another variation, often used when you know you'll see the person later the same day. À bientôt means see you soon. It's a neutral expression, perfect when you expect to see the person again, but not necessarily later the same day. When you want to wish someone well as you part ways, you can say bonne journée, have a nice day, or bon après-midi, have a good afternoon. In the evening, you might say bonne soirée, have a good evening, or bonne nuit if it's time for bed, meaning good night. These are all neutral expressions suitable for any context. Now, if you're planning to meet someone at a specific day or time, you can use the preposition à followed by the time. Par exemple, à lundi, see you Monday. À ce soir, see you tonight. À la semaine prochaine, see you next week. These expressions will help you wrap up your conversation gracefully, whether you're speaking to a friend or a colleague. How to ask how someone is doing. After saying hello, it's common to ask how someone is doing. In French, there are several ways to do this. For a more formal situation, you would ask comment allez-vous? This means how are you? And is respectful and polite. In a slightly less formal context, you could say comment vas-tu? It's a little more casual than comment allez-vous, but it's still polite. Another common way to ask how someone is doing, which is slightly informal, is comment ça va? This can be used with friends or in casual conversation and literally means how it's going. For a simple, informal check-in, you can use ça va? It's the French equivalent of how it's going and is the most common way to ask how someone is doing. If you want to ask someone if they are well, especially after not seeing them for a while, you could say vous allez bien in a formal context or tu vas bien in an informal one. If you're asking specifically about how someone is feeling, perhaps after they've been unwell, you can use comment vous sentez-vous for the formal or comment tu te sens for the informal. For a more informal and friendly greeting, you might ask Quoi neuf, which means what's new. It's a great way to catch up with friends. And finally, if you're looking for something even more casual, you can ask Quoi de beau or ça roule. Both are very informal and translate roughly to what's up. These expressions give you a variety of ways to check in on someone, depending on the context and your relationship. How to answer to ça va in French. When someone asks you ça va or comment ça va, it's important to know how to respond appropriately. In French, there are several common ways to reply depending on how you're feeling and the context. If you're feeling good and want to keep it simple, you can just say ça va or ça va bien, which means it's going well. It's a neutral and positive response that works in most situations. You can also say tout va bien, which translates to everything is going well. This is another neutral, reassuring response. For an informal, laid-back response, you can use ça roule, which is like saying all good in English. It's great among friends and in a relaxed setting. If things aren't going particularly well, you can say bof, which expresses a sense of so-so or indifference. It's informal and often used when you're not feeling great but don't want to go into details. Another common response is pas mal, which means not bad. It's a neutral reply that suggests things are okay. If you're feeling quite well, you might say assez bien, which means quite well. It's a positive but slightly understated response. If you want to indicate that things are pretty much the same as usual, you can say comme d'hab, short for comme d'habitude, meaning same as always. This is slightly informal and often used in casual conversations. Finally, if you're not having the best day, you can say ça pourrait aller mieux, which means could be better. It's a slightly informal way to express that things aren't perfect, but you're managing. It's also common to return the questions by adding merci et toi or merci et vous after your response, meaning thanks and you. This shows politeness and keep the conversation going. These responses give you a range of options depending on how you're feeling and who you're talking to. Meeting someone for the first time. Let's finish this video by talking about how to introduce yourself when meeting someone for the first time. In French, introductions are key to making a great first impression, whether you're informal or informal setting. To start, if you want to ask someone's name in a formal context, you will say comment vous appelez-vous? This is the polite way to ask how do you call yourself and is suitable for professional or respectful situations. In a more casual setting, you can ask the same question informally by saying comment tu t'appelles? This is perfect for meeting someone around your age or in a relaxed environment. When someone introduces themselves, it's customary to respond with ravi de faire votre connaissance if you want to keep it neutral or formal. This means nice to meet you and is a polite way to acknowledge the introduction. A more common expression you might hear is enchanté, which also means nice to meet you. It's slightly formal but often used in everyday situations. You can make it even more formal by saying enchanté de faire votre connaissance, which translates to pleasure to make your acquaintance. And finally, when welcoming someone to your home, office or any place, you can say bienvenue, which simply means welcome. This expression is neutral and can be used in any context. These phrases are essential for making a positive first impression in French. Knowing how to introduce yourself and respond to others will help you navigate new social situations with confidence. A conversation in context. Now that we've covered all the key expressions, let's see how they come together in a real conversation. Pay attention to how the expression change depending on the formality and the relationship between the speakers.
Bonjour Sophie, comment ça va?
Oh, salut Pauline. Ça va bien, merci. Et toi?
Ça va, merci. Tu vas bien depuis la dernière fois?
Oui, tout va bien. J'ai été un peu occupée, mais ça roule. Quoi de neuf de ton côté?
Pas grand-chose, juste le train-train quotidien. Ah, au fait, je te présente mon grand-père, Arthur. Il est en visite dans la région.
Bonjour. Ravi de faire votre connaissance, Sophie.
Enchantée, monsieur. Et bienvenue. Comment allez-vous?
Très bien, merci.
Bon, on doit y aller. On va voir une pièce de théâtre. À plus tard.
À bientôt, Pauline. Passez une bonne journée.
Merci, Sophie. Vous aussi.
And there you go. You've now learned the essential vocabulary for greeting, asking how someone is doing, and making introductions in French. These phrases will help you navigate any social situation with confidence. Remember, the key to mastering these expressions is practice, so try using them in your conversation as much as possible. In the description of this video, you'll find a link to a PDF of the lesson and an online quiz to test your knowledge. Feel free to share your experiences or any questions you have in the comments below, and I'll be happy to help. Thanks for joining me today, and see you in the next video. À bientôt!